And welcome to Slick Ride's Garage. Today I'm going to show you one way to tie your trampoline down to the ground for high winds. Alright, so tonight into tomorrow the weather forecast is for high winds. 40, 50 miles an hour, maybe more. And so I just got done putting up this trampoline here and I don't want it to blow away in the wind. So here's one way that you can secure your trampoline to the ground when it's on a grassy surface like this. What I have here, these are two pieces of rebar, 2 feet long. This one is a 1/2 inch diameter. This one's 5/8 diameter. As long as it's a 1/2 inch diameter, you should be okay. But if your ground is soft or kind of loose, then you'll probably want to use a 3-foot stick instead of a 2-foot stick. At any rate, so what I'm going to do here is I just have a piece of rope here. So I'm going to start by wrapping that rope around this cross point here. Oh, and these pieces of rebar, they're driven at about a 45-degree angle each to the ground. So that one's 45 this way, this one's 45 that way. So let's grab our rope, and I'm going to just tie a simple knot right down here. Okay, and then once that's done, I'm going to take the end of that, I'm going to wrap it around just like that. So now, what I'll do is I will come around the X 1, 2, 3 times. And then we'll take the other end of the rope here, feed it underneath this point, and wrap it around 3 times. So there is 1. And notice how I'm coming up when I wrap it around to go around the first set of loops. And here's number 2. I'm trying to hold this relatively tight as I bring this on around. And this is number 2. What did I do here? Oh, yeah. Got to make sure that when you pass it down through the bottom and come up, that you stay between that X right there. So, go like that. There, whoops. Bring this back around here. 2, we'll go one more time. Okay. Okay, there we go. So now let me tilt the camera up. Coming here to the underside of the frame, I'll pull this safety pad back, and I'm going to pull it over the top loop of the frame just like that right there. Okay, so now in order to secure this, let me tilt this down a little bit and make sure I'm giving you guys a good view. Okay, there we go. So all I'm going to do is pull a little bit back from the top here, and I'm going to tie a loop. I'm going to tie a loop here into the rope eventually. Okay, just like that. All right. So you see there, all I did is just tied the rope into a loop, just like that. And I'm going to pull it tight. And now I'm going to take the loop that comes over the top. I'm going to take that wire or that rope that's coming down, pass it through the loop. I'm going to make sure the bottom down here low is tight. And I'll just pull it tight like that. Now, notice how I have my hands that are holding this trailing end of the rope here, that are helping to hold that in place. I just put my hands up there, push it up, and push that rope into that loop we just tied. So now we'll just tie another loop in here. Maybe. Whoops. Well, that went over like a lead balloon. Let's try that again. Okay. So, I'll just take this. I'm going to bring this rope around and tie it into another loop right there. And once you get that tied into that loop like that, it should stay in place. And now I'll take and we'll just take the loop and the remainder of the trailing wire or rope. I don't know why I keep calling it wire. And then we'll tie it in another knot just like that. and you can tie it in a third knot if you want to, but at this point, tying any more knots is probably pretty arbitrary. At any rate, pull that tight, just like that. So now that rope is nice and tight, secured around the top of the frame of the trampoline, and then also down here it's nice and tight too. It's actually pulled these pieces of rebar together. And so if you're wondering why this works, these cross-driven stakes right here, this is actually how they tie down mobile homes. And so they have a bracket for the tie-down strap that goes around the frame of the mobile home. And it's held to the ground by cross-driven stakes, just like that right there. And so if you question whether or not that's going to hold the thing to the ground, I'm pulling up on that really good. And there it is, nice and secured to the ground. If you're going to leave your trampoline tied down to the ground like this and have people bouncing on it, you'll probably want to take and cover that up with something. So this way, if somebody falls off, well then, you know, they're not going to get injured by these stakes. Well, if it were me, I think I'd probably put a sandbag right there, you know, just because it's solid and you can shape it around it real good, and that should help to help prevent any injuries from someone falling off and landing on the stake. You can drive these stakes into the ground further if you want to, and that's probably advisable if you're going to have somebody jumping on it. But just leave enough sticking out where you can get the rope around it like I showed you, because if you make it too short, if you make these too far into the ground, then you might not be able to get your rope around it. And so I've done that on 3 places on the trampoline. This one right here is number 1. On my trampoline it has 6 legs, and this U-shaped job right here is what I'm calling a leg. So what I did is I put it on 1 leg, skipped 1, then came over here to this leg, did the exact same thing around the top frame, and then in 1 more place right over here. Here we go. And so at any rate, that is one way to tie your trampoline down to the ground, so when the high winds come up, it doesn't wind up in your neighbor's backyard. All right, I want to thank everyone for watching Slick Rides Garage. If you liked the video, do me a favor. Please subscribe to the channel. That would really help me out a lot. And also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you will know when new content drops from the channel. And if you have any questions or comments, do me a favor, put those in the comments section below. Oh yeah, and while I'm at it, why don't I give you guys an update on my brain tumor. We still haven't found anything out yet. Matter of fact, the last MRI I went to a couple of months ago, that tumor had actually shrank. So the doctors really aren't for sure exactly what it is right now. But a couple of weeks ago I had a lumbar puncture, and the tests that have come back from it so far are all negative for any sort of problem. We're waiting on the MS panel to come back. That's multiple sclerosis. That's one of the things they're screening for. And tomorrow I have an appointment with an oncologist. Need to get some blood work done, have a little talk with him. And then hopefully after this last round of testing here, I'll finally know what's going on, and maybe I'll be able to have some answers. At any rate, thanks again for watching, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you next time. Later.